Okay, what was one of the hardest lessons that you learned in the entertainment industry?
You will make a lot of mistakes in your life, and when you're in television, you will make it in front of millions of people.
Oh, that is hard. I'm about to interview Erin Moriarty of 48 Hours, you know, the CBS show with all the true crime stories, crazy stories. Everybody watches the show, I think. So, yeah, I'm feeling excited about it. I'm here at CBS in New York City, and funny backstory, I actually interviewed at CBS like eons ago before I even became a therapist, like another life. I'll share more of that later. So let's do it. What was one of the best times in your life?
That's an interesting question. I would always say the best times in my life are really family. I have a great, great son. And I have loves, we're very close, and we have a wonderful time, and I have a twin sister, so I would have to say the
you have a
best.
twin sister.
Yeah, our trips that I take with my sister. So those are the best times in my life. But work is not work to me. Work is my life. So it's hard not to combine that. I mean, I went to the war in Iraq. It was one of the most interesting, scary, challenging times of my life. I would put that as a time that, on your deathbed you will remember. But best times, I would have to say, are with family. Yeah, because I just adore my son. I think every mother does, and he makes me laugh, and so taking trips or doing something like that is terrific.
Okay, what was one of the hardest lessons that you learned in the entertainment industry?
Oh, well, I think you're always learning something. So doing a terrible interview, but the moment that was hardest for me was in the first Gulf War, and it happened right when we were doing a show. We were doing a 48 Hours, and all of a sudden, Gulf War started. And so I had to do a live shot, and I didn't do a good job. And the Wall Street Journal wrote about it. And so you already knew you didn't do a good job, but then to have the rest of the world know that you didn't do a good job. So
that's not fair.
No. And it's still, and then here's the worst part of that. So there was the columnist had written about it she was a television columnist by the name of Dorothy Rabinowitz. You notice how I will never forget her name. You don't know who she
Another
is,
name.
I will remember Dorothy Rabinowitz. And later I ran into
one
her,
night.
and we were talking, and I said, "Oh, I still hurt from it." She goes, "What did I write?" So, so that was a good lesson to remember that what's huge to you is not huge to anybody else, including the woman who wrote it. So probably no one else in the world remembers it. So that may have been one of the best, most painful, but best lessons, is that you will make a lot of mistakes in your life. And when you're in television, you will make it in front of millions of people.
Oh, that is hard.
And it will bother you, but it probably won't ruin your life. And you get yourself back up and you keep moving. So I think that is, probably in my professional, that was probably one of the worst.
Right. Do you have a personal one?
Well, I lost a nephew who was killed on a motorcycle accident. So that has affected me because I can't see anyone on a motorcycle. It wasn't his fault. It was a rainy day, and a car turned in front of him and killed him. So, so you don't. And my sister's never been the same. I think those thoughts every time I interview somebody who's lost, the more time you've lived, the better reporter you are, because you feel more. Sometimes people ask me, "Oh, you've been doing crime. You probably, you're jaded, probably doesn't." And I'll say, no, over time, I think it hurts more. I feel more empathy because I have experienced more. And even though I don't know exactly what that person's going through, I know it's hard.
And that's a gift to them that they feel that empathy from you.
You have
They're not
to.
alone.
Yeah, and you have to. If you don't feel that, you shouldn't be doing this job.
Okay, my last question is, what's a common misconception about you? I guess maybe that is you just answered it. Then we'll go to part 2, unless you have a different one.
What do you mean by
what's the image that people have of you that maybe isn't spot on, and who are you really?
Oh, well, around here, everybody thinks I think everyone in prison is innocent. And that is not true. That is not true. I used to, some people would kid me and say, the Erin Innocence Project. But that is not true. I interview far more guilty people than innocent people. I don't think that. And a lot of people think that I really care about work too much, and that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
I love it. And I think we're all better off because you do care about work so much. It shows.
It does matter to me. I'm passionate about it.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this.
This was fun. This was like we should have had coffee. This was like a little coffee.
You're not going to believe it. You're going to get to know her on such another level. She gives us all kinds of behind the scenes information and scoop on 48 Hours and her podcast, My Life of Crime, and her job as a crime journalist. We really get to know each other, and so you're going to get to know her too.